Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
Okay, Six Towns Radio. My special guest today has got an amazing name. He's a comedian. You might have seen him on the TV. He's been on quite a few things. And he's one of New Zealand's finest. Welcome to the show, Jared Christmas. How are you feeling today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
How's 2013 been so far for you?
It's been all right, mate. It's been all right. You always worry when you're in a year that's got 13 in it. But so far it's going okay.
Never thought of it like that, actually. 13 can be a lucky number as well for some people.
Yeah, and you know what? I just avoid black cats and step ladders. So I'm doing my best.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like you're somewhere exciting. I can hear police cars in the background. Where are you today?
I wish it was somewhere excited. I'm just doing a bit of filming for a short film in Swiss Cottage in London. No offence to anyone who's from Swiss Cottage, but it's a bit rough.
They could be just testing the sirens out, really.
Yeah, it could be.
So, have you played any festivals this summer?
Yeah, as a music festivals, yeah, I did Leeds, Latitude, the Green Man Festival, and Festival.
Yeah, because I've been quite a few festivals before, and comedians aren't backstage with musicians. They're kept apart for some reason.
Yeah, not so much at the Reading and Leeds Festival. You kind of end up all eating in the same sort of hospitality area. So, a couple of years ago, I found myself sitting next to Muse, which, at the risk of sounding cheesy, was quite amusing. They didn't talk to me, but I just sat there, eating my chicken and staring at them.
That didn't put them off at all?
No. I didn't even notice I was there.
So, Jared, you've got quite an impressive CV, but what do more people say to you in the street than anything else?
I don't know. I get recognised. I did some pot noodle adverts a while back, and for some reason they were really, really popular. So I got recognised for that quite a bit, to be honest. But all in all, if anyone, on the rare occasion someone does recognise me, it's usually very positive. Apart from a few years ago, after Michael Jackson died, I was on Big Brother's Big Mouth, and I let the guy who just got evicted from the house. He was like, "Oh, I'm really, really sad to leave. It was a big surprise." And I said, "Oh, talking about surprises, Michael Jackson's dead." And the next day, I was walking along the street, and a Michael Jackson fan came up to me and called me a rather nasty name to my face.
You're only relaying the news, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't doing a joke. I just said, this is a big surprise. So, yeah. But that guy said, "Wow, Michael Jackson's dead." This is on the show. In the ad break, he said, "Is Michael Jackson truly dead?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said this, "Well, at least he left the music." And I was kind of thinking, well, what was he going to do? Just scoop up all our Thriller CDs? Take them to the grave with him?
So this new autumn-winter tour, tell us about that.
Well, I'm embarking on this, I like to call it a mini tour, and I'm hitting all the hot spots of the UK. I'm very excited about it. The show's called SNAFU, and I'm basically, it's a bit of a freewheeling show, as in I'm led by the questions that the audience ask me. What
if they ask you rubbish questions, though?
Well, then that's something I just have to deal with. Do you know what I mean? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I've done it. I've been doing it a little bit. I did it down in New Zealand earlier this year, the show, and one guy asked me a question. Do you ever think a theocracy could rule the world, or are you more a fan of democracy? It was something like that. You know what I mean? It was such a full-on sort of thing, and I don't know anything about politics. Pretty much just went, "Oh, shut up." And then
you can close them down straight away, can't you?
Yeah, but I've also found if you do that, then no one else wants to ask a question. So the best thing to do is just accept the question and run with it.
Does that make you feel more alive, freestyling on stage?
Yeah. It just host a lot of shows, and so I do a lot of banter with the crowd. So I quite like improvising my way into stories or jokes, and by getting the audience to ask me questions, it feels like it's more of a boutique show for that individual night.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've still got my stories and my jokes and all of that, but it just which ones of them I do all depends on the questions asked.
Ah, see, because you've toured with Ross Noble, and he's quite a master at the old improvisation, isn't he?
Yes, he's exceptional at it. So, and you know, when I first started, you know, Ross Noble was one of the guys that I watched a lot and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say my style's the same as him. He's very, very surreal and goes off on flights of fancy, sort of by himself. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm a bit more grounded. Okay. I haven't got that much stuff about squirrels and owls.
Yeah, he does go on about the animals quite a lot.
Yeah, I could watch Ross Noble for hours on end, you know.
Yeah, we're from Stoke-on-Trent, and the thing where people put things on stage at half-time started in Stoke-on-Trent and continues now forever.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That's where it started.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
The SNAFU tour has won you an award in New Zealand, the Fred Award.
Yeah, the Fred Award is named after a New Zealand comedian called Fred Dagg, who was pretty successful back in the 80s. And it's sort of just an award during the comedy festival down in New Zealand for best show by a New Zealander. So, and the trophy is a gum boot, a Wellington boot on a plank of wood. So it's pretty prestigious.
Where'd you keep it?
At the moment, I've just got it on my windowsill. My wife keeps putting it in the cupboard with the other Wellington boots. So I have to keep getting it out and going, no, this is actually an award. This means something to me.
You worked with the Flight of the Conchords guys, of course. They're a collective of comedians besides Brett and Jermaine, aren't they?
Yeah, they. I worked with them on their radio show they had over here a while back. But there's so few New Zealand comedians that we all kind of know each other, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Obviously, they're all in that series, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, it's just like Flight of the Conchords and Rhys Darby. You know, Rhys Darby gave me my first ever paid stand-up slot back in 1998. You know, so when we were both gigging in Christchurch, New Zealand, you know, and I had a guitar lesson off Jermaine back in about 1999. So it's all very, very tight. It was a drunken guitar lesson, and I cannot play the guitar. Can't even play the ukulele, mate. So I think he's amazing, but his teaching skills have a lot to be desired, you know.
And another thing connected to Flight of the Conchords and New Zealand is Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. I don't suppose you appeared in any of that trilogy? Maybe as an extra?
No. No, I haven't. Yeah, I think, you know, there's getting your mates on things, and then, but, you know, it's kind of like if it's all being filmed in the States, then, you know, they're not really going to fly me over. But, no, I've just really loved watching it.
Let's finish up with the gig you're playing in Birmingham, the Glee Club. It's on Halloween.
Very scary.
Yeah.
I've done that on purpose, man. I've done it on purpose. Everyone should be in Birmingham on Halloween.
Is that going to be part of the narrative, do you reckon?
Part of the what, sorry?
Part of the narrative.
I've just had a drill start up near me. Oh, that's the dangers of doing an interview on your mobile phone in Swiss Cottage, as a drill could start up anywhere.
I thought at first, when we started this interview, I keep hearing these sound effects. I thought it was just somebody playing with the sound effects board, but these are actual things, aren't they?
No, this is real life, mate. That's happening behind me. Real life.
But yeah, do you think that Halloween will be part of the show? Do you think people will be asking you scary questions or horror questions?
Yeah, I should prepare for that, to be honest. Because, yeah, it probably will be. You know, certainly if people show up in fancy dress. Do people still do that, though?
Oh, yeah. It's come back quite a lot now, because you can buy fancy dress everywhere. Where you used to have to make it yourself, now you can just go and get ready-made costumes. So they're everywhere, so people do tend to do it. And it's not just one day. If it's midweek, it's the weekend before and the weekend after as well. Yeah,
there's a big build-up to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's still something so much more appealing to a homemade costume than just a store-bought one.
Definitely.
Even if you were just showing up wrapped in bandages as a mummy or something, you know? It's still like, yeah, you put a bit of effort in there, mate. Instead of popping down to Argos.
Yeah, I once went to a country and western fancy dress as a robot that I made myself out of cardboard boxes with a cowboy hat on.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. I came
You
second.
know, I think you can dress up as anything for a country and western one, as long as you just put a hat on. You can go as a vampire and put a cowboy hat on. You're on theme.
Well, Jared, I better let you get back to filming, mate. But it's been absolutely brilliant having you on the show today.
Hey, you know what? Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Birmingham.
Yeah, I guess I should say, check out my website, which is jaredchristmas.com, and that's got all my dates on it.
Yeah, we'll all get on to
Yeah,
that.
I should say that, right?
Yeah,
I
you should say that. You're on Twitter, aren't you, at Jared Christmas?
Yeah, occasionally I tweet things that I find amusing. I'm not a full-on Twitter dude. You're not going to get bombarded.
It can be a bit too much off some people. Retweet.
Yeah. I retweet things that I find funny. You're not going to get me retweeting anyone tweeting me with praise. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not going to retweet going, hey, I did a gig the other night and this is what people think. I think that's a bit tedious.
Yeah, only in moderation, maybe. I don't get that many compliments on there.
Exactly. Anyway, mate, I've dragged this out, mate. I know you've got to go. You've got stuff to do today.
Yeah.
I get it. You've got a busy schedule. I'm not going to keep you.
No, but this has been part of that busy schedule. It's been a pleasure.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, mate.
You take care, Jared. Bye-bye.
Catch you around. Cheers. Bye.